Well, hello, Legal Shield family. It is Sunday, February the 4th. It is Super Bowl Sunday, and we're not going to have our normally scheduled call tonight just because I know that many of you are going to be friends and family watching the Super Bowl, but I did want to still have connection today and talk about some important things in building our business. One of the things I wanted to talk about was the fact that next Sunday on our call, you're going to want to make sure, mark your calendar, make sure you're on the call, and this is a great time let's really get all of our associates connected to the call. It would be great to have 50 plus associates on the call next Sunday at 9 o'clock to hear from Darnell Self. It's very difficult to get Mr. Self to clear that kind of time, but he's happy to do it for us. So I don't know when we're going to be able to get him again. And it's really the time that we want to make sure that we have gotten a hold of every associate on our team and said, hey, even if you haven't got on a call lately, make sure you get on this call. And so that'll be next Sunday, February the 11th. I want to make sure everyone's aware of that. I wanted to also share with everyone just something that I've been doing, just training on at the Super Saturdays that I think makes a big difference, and that is training on the Rule of 5. If you were in Columbus, Ohio and saw John Maxwell speak back about 5 months ago, he talked about the Rule of 5, and I have applied it to my Legal Shield business, and I just wanted to share with you how I've applied it, so maybe you could be applying it to your Legal Shield business. But the Rule of 5 is simply this. In every profession, in every craft, and everything that someone is trying to master, there are 5 things that if you do every single day will lead to your success. So if you're trying to be a great ball player, there are 5 things that you do every day. If you're trying to be a great writer, there are 5 things you do every day. And if you're trying to be a great Legal Shield associate, there are 5 things that you do every single day that will lead to your success. So it got me really thinking deep about what are the 5 things. And so I wanted to share with you what I have determined my 5 things are and what I've been really dedicated to, especially the last 3 or 4 weeks on these 5 things. I've been focused on these 5 things. And I got to tell you, since I've been focused just on these 5 things, what's happened in my business is I've recruited more people personally than I have in a very long time in the last 30 days, helped more people get started, and I've been more focused on building a big business. And so what are those 5 things? Well, number 1 is every day I get started right. I started this on January the 6th. I took a 21-day challenge that every day I would get up, and before I grabbed my phone or got on my computer and checked my email and got all that negative stuff that starts coming your way on news and all that stuff, before I did any of that, I would get up, read 10 pages of a good book, get my mind right. Then I'd come into my office, I'd read my long-term goals, read my short-term goals, then I'd read my affirmations out loud. Then I would go for a walk. Now, if I didn't have time to go for a walk that morning, I would probably just take 5 or 10 quiet minutes and just think about my day, what I had to do before I got started. If I had time to go exercise, I would do that. So whether I had 20 minutes to get my day started right or an hour and 20 minutes to get my day started right, I made sure every single day I got started right. Not some days, every day. Even when I was traveling to Super Saturday, got up, read my 10 pages before I did anything else. So that's made a big difference. That has started me with the right attitude, started me with the right mindset, and made me think every day, what are the most important things? And we talk about, if you have a jar, what are the big rocks that you have to put in that jar to fill the jar first? Because these big rocks, maybe it's family time, Legal Shield time, work time, whatever it is, you got the big rocks. Then you got to have the medium rocks that, they're not as important, but you should get to them if you can. And then you got the sand. That's the filler stuff. That's the stuff that, if you don't get to it, it's okay. You can go tomorrow and get to it. If you don't get to it tomorrow, it's okay. It can be pushed off. The problem is most people, what they do is they fill their jar with sand first, and then there's no time for the big rocks. So they don't get to the most important things every day. So I've learned to put the big rocks in first, then the medium-sized rocks, and then fill the sand with whatever's left over. And again, that's getting started right. So every day I get started right. Number 2 is every day I make 2 new exposures. I have made it a habit. Again, the first week or 2, it was difficult. Some weeks, some days I only got 1 exposure, but I got myself a workout partner. We keep each other accountable. And so every day, I make 2 new exposures to my Legal Shield business. That has made all of the difference. Since I am focused on making 2 exposures every day, I have made more exposures than I have in a very long time in my business. When I was traveling to Charlotte, North Carolina on Friday, I was sitting next to a great couple from Los Angeles. I exposed them to the business. I didn't just jump out and talk to them about Legal Shield. I built a relationship first. They were leadership trainers and talked to them about that and then just kind of share with them what I do. I arrived at the Alamo rental car desk, and the gentleman noticed I was from Fort Myers. Said, "Hey, I'm from Fort Myers." That started a conversation. I exposed him to the business, sent him a video. When I was getting my car from Alamo, the gentleman was super nice. He gave me the car. I said, "Hey, you got a great personality. I'd love to share with you what I do." And I exposed him to the business by getting his information and prospect by Legal Shield. And then when I was pulling out of Alamo, there was someone that took my little ticket. I exposed them to the business. So 4 exposures in about 45 minutes, and really never went out of my way to do any of those things. On my way home yesterday, I did the same thing. Again, you can be exposing 2 people every day and never even take any extra time if you're focused on it and if you're thinking about it every single day. But it is a habit that you have to get into. It is going to be hard the first week. It is going to be less hard the second week. And then it's just going to be a habit that you do every single day and you don't even think about it. So every day, I expose 2 new people to my business. The third thing I do every day is every day I follow up. You know, you have all these people that you've been putting in prospect by Legal Shield, you've been talking to and sending videos and all of those things. And so it's important that you follow up. So every day I follow up. Now, some days I have time to follow up with 2, and some days I have time to follow up with 20. But I make it a habit to follow up with people every single day, picking up the phone and asking if they've looked at the video. Of course, I'm going to talk to the people that have watched the video first. So those are the number 1 priority for follow-up. But if I'm inviting to a business briefing, I'm inviting to a nightly conference call, if I'm inviting to a Super Saturday, I'm going to be every day following up with people and making those calls. Yeah, again, follow-up maybe 5 minutes a day. Follow-up might be an hour and a half. It just depends on my schedule that day. But every day I follow up. Number 4 is every day I connect with my leaders. Not just some days, but every day. Some days I have time to connect to 2 leaders, and sometimes I have time to connect to 10 leaders. But I actually make it a mission in my priority planner that I have to write down which leaders I plan on connecting with today. Now, there's always going to be things where a leader might call me, I take the call, and we're talking, and they weren't on my agenda. But if I have 5 leaders on my list that I plan on contacting today, I make sure I contact those 5 leaders. And I don't just contact them and see how they're doing, but I contact them with a mission to find out, hey, maybe it's Performance Club, maybe it's Jamaica, maybe it's how many people on their team are in Performance Club, maybe it's making sure their retention's right. Whatever the subject is, talking about the international convention, I make sure that I connect with them and that we're on the same page and I'm helping to guide them in the right way. Number 5 is every day I help someone on the team get started right. And of course, as we recruit more and more people, that becomes easier and easier. You know, on Friday I did a game plan interview. On Saturday I was connecting with a brand new associate. Yesterday I was connecting with a brand new associate. Tomorrow I have an appointment with a brand new associate. Tuesday I have an appointment with a brand new associate. So every day I make sure that I connect with at least one brand new person on the team. Not just someone that I personally sponsored, but anyone that's new in the organization, to make sure that we help them get started right. You know, it's no good just to recruit associates if we don't help them get started right. So those are the 5 things that I have determined are going to lead me to where I want to go in building a large organization. Every day I get started right. Every day I make 2 exposures. Every day I follow up. Every day I work with leaders in my organization. And every day I help new associates get started. If I do those 5 things every day, regardless of anything else that happens, I'm going to have a successful business. Now the key is, if you don't know what your 5 things are, it's very easy for your day to get out of control. And at the end of the day, you think, man, I didn't get any of those things done. I didn't connect with new associates on my team. I didn't make my 2 exposures. I didn't do these things. But I was busy all day. How is it that I was busy all day, but I didn't get done the most important things to build my business? Because you let others control your time. And so you have to take control of your day. You have to say, I've got 5 big rocks for my Legal Shield business that I've got to get in. And then anything else that happens in my Legal Shield business on top of that, well, that's just icing on the cake. But if I do those 5 things, I do them every single day, I do them consistently, I'm going to have success. And so I just wanted to share that with everybody because I think maybe that will help you organize your day, be more efficient. The other thing I just want to urge everyone is have a sense of urgency. You know, we have until February the 15th. If you did not qualify for Jamaica because you missed Performance Club in January and you still haven't used your reboot, well, then get your 180 points by February 15th, reboot January. That'll qualify you for PC in January. Now you're back in the running for Jamaica. So let's really utilize that. Also, I want to let you know that this upcoming week, I will be in Southern California. So my wife and I will be traveling on Thursday, February 8th to Southern California. We'll be doing a business briefing by the Los Angeles airport, LAX, on Thursday night. Then Ronnie Feblis, who's a member of our organization, is hosting a luncheon on Friday in Sherman Oaks, California, just a little bit north of the Los Angeles airport on the north side of LA. And he's been inviting like crazy to that luncheon, but if you know of anyone in that area. And then on Saturday, I'll be doing a Super Saturday event in Anaheim. And so again, if you know of anyone in Southern California, ask your team, who do we know in Southern California? We have several opportunities to get them out to live events. Thursday night at the LAX Airport Hotel, Friday at the luncheon in Sherman Oaks in the Valley, Saturday in Anaheim at the Super Saturday. You can go to LegalShieldCalendar.com and go click on Southern California, get all the details on all of those events. And so I wanted to take this opportunity just again, congratulations on a great January. As a team, we got off to a great start in the year. I mean, Legal Shield blew past our recruiting budget, blew past our membership budget. So Legal Shield's doing phenomenal on the networking side right now. You know, Florida's the #1 state, and many of you live in Florida. I know some of you live in Texas. Texas was #3. You know, California was #4. North Carolina was #2. So a lot of the areas where our team is exploding with growth right now. But that's not going to do us any good if we are not also exploding growth in our own business. So I want to encourage you to have a sense of urgency. Get your Performance Club points done by February 15th. Make it a goal to get as many people as you can to hear Darnell Self on our team call on Sunday. Start February with a sense of urgency. You know, yesterday I talked about the word consistency, and I'm going to do our 5-minute strong on consistency this week. But consistency means this. You know, people say, well, what do you do on January 30th and 31st? I do the same thing on January 30th and 31st that I do on February 1st and February 2nd because I'm consistent. You know, what happens is so many people, they take 4 or 5, 6, 7, 10 days. They don't work very hard because they feel like they've got the whole month. At the end of the month, they're cramming like crazy. They're completely worn out on the 1st. So on the 1st, they got to take a day off because they did so much at the end of the month, and they just don't ever grab any consistency in their business. If you want to have a successful Legal Shield business and Legal Shield career, learn consistency in your business. On the 1st of the month, 2 a day. Follow up. Talk to your leaders. Talk to new associates. Help them get started. On the 10th of the month, start each day the right way. 2 exposures. Follow up. Talk to your leaders. On the 20th of the month, do the same exact thing. On the last day of the month, do the same exact thing. Now, you might have a little bit more work on the last day of the month to help your team get in Performance Club, but it shouldn't be overwhelming because you waited to the last second to get everything done. If you're consistent in your business and you do a little bit every day, it's going to make it a lot more of a pleasant journey on your Legal Shield business, and you're also going to be a lot more successful because things will compound easier than if you try to do it in spurts. So hopefully that helps you today, and we'll get back on our live calls next week, but I definitely want to reach out to everyone. So let's have a great week. Let's figure out ask yourself, who can I add to the team this week? How many new associates can I add to my organization this week? And let's make it a great week in building your Legal Shield business.